Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are MC.
Welcome to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City for a Saturday afternoon matinee. It's the Oakland Athletics and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Fizziak. The Royals will send to the mound a young man who has had incredible success throughout his career against the Oakland A's. Irvin Santana, the Magic Man. Career ERA of 2.05 against this Oakland ball club. 14-6 record. Most of these starts have been as a member of the Angels, but he had one very good start, albeit a loss in May against Oakland. The 2.05 ERA is the lowest all-time against the Oakland A's ball club. Joining me now is Rex Hudler. And Rex, this is a very patient Oakland Athletics offense. What must Santana do to beat them?
In order to beat a patient team, you got to throw them strikes. You saw that 135 strikeouts. Irvin, he can get that done. Sets them up with his nice two-seamer. That ball runs into righties away from lefties, and then he finishes them off with his magic act. Irvin Santana's got a great slider. He throws it 40% of the time, and when he's down in the zone, after setting him up with that two-seam fastball, he gets a lot of swing and misses. And that's what he's got to do. Get ahead. Strike one will be Irvin's call to get ahead from these guys, keep them off the bases, and stop that losing streak against these guys this year. 0-4 against the A's? Come on. This is the day that the Royals can make a mark.
Santana would love to see early offense. The Royals did not score until the ninth inning last night, and they'd love to break out on top in the first, second, or third. It's the A's and the Royals coming your way next.
Wednesday night, out there working with trainer Nick Kenny earlier today, and he is back, cleared, and ready to go. Joel Goldberg out here in left field where Alex Gordon will return to play in just a matter of moments. And Alex, he has had to go through all the different testing. Major League Baseball had to clear him. They did that last night in the 6th inning. Major League Baseball did. He actually would have been available to pinch hit had Johnny Giovatella's spot come up in the 9th inning. They fell one short, but Alex is cleared and ready to go.
Yeah, a lot of tests with the concussion, and MLB takes a strong stand on that kind of stuff, so we followed all the rules, made sure we took care of everything, and was cleared yesterday and was actually ready to pinch hit last night. So the hip's still a little bruised, but it feels good enough to play, and that's what we're going to try to do today.
And talking to Alex this morning, he says that bruise, that hip contusion, more, he says, a pain in the butt. But he says once he gets loosened up and has adrenaline, he's fine. We have baseball coming up next from Kauffman Stadium. I'm Joe Goldberg. Enjoy the game.
Ervin Santana looking to continue the magic today. Has been undefeated since May 28th. This guy's got what it takes. He's got to be able to set them up with fastballs in the count early. You got to get in there against these guys or they'll walk and they'll get a lousy single, and that's how they score their runs. They do got a little pop, but Ervin's got to be able to stay underneath their bats with a good sinker and mix in his changeup along with that slider.
He wrapped up June at 2-0, ranking second in the American League in both ERA and opponent's batting average. And of course, this game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Bob Melvin, his team is in first place in the American League West, 51-36, a half game better than Texas. He will mix up his lineup with Chris leading off, but then Jason moves from down in the order to 2. Cespedes goes 3. Moss, Donaldson, Smith, Reddick, Rosales, and Eric Sogard. That is the Athletics 9.
Okay, you see Ervin Santana's numbers there with the strikeouts at 89. Okay, walks at 22. That's a good combination. He doesn't walk too many, and that's good against this team. The opponent's hitting 224 against Ervin. That's also a good number. Ervin's having a fine career this year, and there's no question that his team responds behind him. And they're hoping that they can get in that win column here in Game 2.
And how about a Ram trucks around the horn defense?
Okay, It's good to see Elliott Johnson out there getting his third start at shortstop this afternoon. Now, Escobar's going to have to take a little chill pill until he can try to figure some things out and get on base a little bit more. They need more production from Escobar. Hopefully, Johnson will provide that.
Coco Crisp, 1 for 4 yesterday, but 3 RBIs. One in a sacrifice fly, the other on a 2-run single in that 9th inning when they scored 3 times and won 6-3. Tommy Malone went 8 1/3 shutout until KC plated 3 against him in the 9th. And Santana has been a strike thrower this year.
Yep. Coco has hit a leadoff homer in the first inning 3 times this year.
Skies one to right field. David Lowe will get under it, pull it down near the track, 1 out.
He tried to do it again. Santana is a fly ball pitcher, but when you've got nice legs out there, good athletes that can run balls down, that's going to help him. Stiff wind here at the K, blowing from the right field foul pole straight out to center field and on the left. It's going to help balls going to center and left field.
And we're talking 15-20 with gusts up to 25 miles an hour.
Now, Jaso, you said that last night we saw him hitting down in the order. He's 7 for 17 with 1 home run. So Melvin said, you know what? I want my better hitters at the top of the order. So that's why he's up there.
And he did move all guys who have done well against Santana up in the order. You talked about Jaso, 7 for 17. Cespedes, who will bat next, has 2 home runs. Here's a ground ball to second. Tejada throws out Jaso, and very quickly 2 outs in the first. Brandon Moss 2 for 4 against Santana. And then after that, Rex, it's Santana who has been the dominant force. Boy, Miguel Tejada, what a career he had with the Oakland A's. That was his original organization. 2002, he won the MVP in the American League. And that was a sensational season when he hit .308 with 34 home runs and 131. They won the West, but it was the Angels that would win the World Series that year as a wild card. Cespedes yesterday was hitting down in the order, just 6th, and now he moves up to 3rd. But I think Bob Melvin liked his at-bats yesterday. Rex, even though he went just 1 for 4, 2 other at-bats could have been hits if not for a wonderful play by Escobar and another fine catch by Dyson. Well, Moustakas takes a base hit away from Cespedes, and Santana cruises through his first. Missouri Lottery. Play the Powerball and Mega Million Scratchers game to win $100 grand or more. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. Guess who's in town? Charlie O. the Mule. Rex Hudler had a chance to ride that mule before the game, and he was a little stubborn. wanted you off.
Yeah, he thought about who was on his back, and he goes, I'm not so sure I want you on there. That kind of scared me a little bit, but what was cool was that original Charlie O blanket that's over him.
Yes.
That's the original one from back in the day.
Are you kidding?
No. So, anyway, he's out there for all to see at the K today.
That blanket's as old as you are.
That's right.
And here we go with the Kansas City lineup. Great to see Alex Gordon back there, cleared by Major League Baseball to play after no concussion symptoms. He does have that right hip contusion. Hosmer will go second, Butler third, Perez fourth today, with Lowe protecting them, along with Tejada, Moustakas, Johnson, and Dyson. And it looks like Escobar will get not just today, but 2 days off. They just want him to mentally clear his head and get back to that crisp game that he usually plays. Well, here is Jared Parker, the 6'1" right-hander from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And he has really pitched well his last 9-10 starts.
Yeah, you know, he's starting to find himself, that's for sure. His best pitch is his changeup. His two-seam fastball, you'll see that there at 88 to 92. But his changeup is a pitch that he'll use over 40% of the time. Kind of like Irvin's pitch is his slider. This kid really loves his changeup. He's got a curve and a little bit of a slider to go with it. There's the changeup there.
And he drops the baseball, can't get it. And Rex, I just wonder, the way he came off the mound, if he was just gingerly taking care of the right hamstring that he hurt in St. Louis. And that was last Saturday, because he went after this very cautiously.
No, we didn't have a chance to share about his last start, but this is it. Right here, he went down. Now, that wasn't a hamstring pull. It was a pretty severe cramp that hit him at the time. Okay? And I know people that have had cramps before, sometimes when it gets you, it'll drop you. So, you know, even though he couldn't stay in the game, when you have a cramp like that, sometimes you feel that 2 or 3 days after that.
You told me it is a lion-cheating muscle.
And hamstring, so he was a little gingerly. So, look, for some of the bunters out there, Dyson, Elliott Johnson, you know, go ahead and try it. You watch him, he's coming real slow. Look, there was no sense of urgency to go down and get this, and so he was thinking about his leg instead of thinking about getting the out.
And they gave Alex a hit, and quite frankly, if Parker comes up with it, he records the out by a good 4 or 5 steps.
Well, that's a beautiful gift.
They have just changed it to E1 right after we made that comment.
I was going to say, come on, man. Dude, that's an Aaron Little League.
As much as we love Alex Gordon, that's an Aaron Little League, as you said.
Come on.
Here is Eric Hosmer. Royals would love to get off to a good start. And he rips it, and look at that play by the second baseman, Sogard.
Better know how to really upset a guy. He hit a ball hard like that. That ball definitely was a clean single. Look at Hosmer. He's like, all right, okay. So you're going to do that to me? Don't even come near me with a ball. I'm going to rob it. Nice play.
And Rex, you were talking about the wind roaring out towards left. Billy Butler has one home run really in a month and a half, and it ended a long 136 at-bat drought. Love to see him get the back underside and allow that wind to help it go to left.
Yeah, you know, he's due. But speaking of home runs, Parker's given up 15, and that's an ongoing career high for him. Last year, he only gave up 11. But 11 of those 15 this year have come on the road. So right-handers have hit 6 homers off of him. Lefties have hit 9. Loves his changeup. He'll throw it to righties as well. More breaking balls, though.
Since the year 2000, Billy Butler has seen only Mike Sweeney reach base in consecutive games more. The Royals record is George Brett in 1980 with 51 consecutive games, but since 2000, Mike Sweeney reached in 33 straight games. So Butler trying to tie him as he chases his hitting instructor, and he drives this one to center field, and the wind will not be able to help this enough. Tagging at first is Alex Gordon. He'll move to second base, and he'll make it.
Okay, and if there's any way to get tested when you have a sore hip like Alex does, it's on a play like that. On contact, Gordon went out thinking that maybe it might be over his head. He took a nice lead. He went probably halfway, 3/4 down. He broke back to first base saying, you know what, I'm going to tag and make it. Because he could tell by the body language of the outfielder that he was going to catch it. Moore goes back and tags. He's able to get in there safely in scoring position with 2 outs.
And Salvador Perez, who's hitting well over 300 with runners in scoring position now at the plate. Checks a swing on one that is called a strike. They say he went. Overall 306 with 4 home runs. Salvador now at 403 with that base hit last night. It came in the 9th inning and plated a run. The Royals close to within 3 and had the tying run at the plate, but could not get those other 3 home.
Well, when you're playing teams, and they don't even have to be good teams like they're playing today, the Oakland A's, you got to do the little things. And the fact that Gordon was able to advance, that gives him a little bit of help here in this first inning. Lousy single.
Sends it foul, down in the count 1-2.
So when you have a heads-up ball player, watch Gordon, okay, on contact. He went back, but then he tagged up, and you saw it. The play was right in front of him. So that is all on Gordon. Whether he gets thrown out or not, that's all his decision. Worked. Salvi 1 for 4 in his career against Parker. He'll spread out that plate a little bit here with 2 strikes and just go to Hackett. Maybe he can doink one in. Or maybe he can scream one out of here. You never know.
He swings and misses and strikes out. So the Royal threat is turned back in this first inning. Stadium, July 6, 1991. Danny Tartabull belted 3 home runs, but the Royals would lose to the Oakland A's by a final of 9-7.
Look at that slim fighting machine right there. The Bull. He could rake. He had some pop. Look at her. She's all decked out in her royal blue pretty dress. Way to go.
Fun at the old ballpark. We had a little rain earlier today. It's cleared up and a beautiful afternoon to play our grand game as Irvin Santana will take on Brandon Moss. Moss with good power, and it was pretty similar to last year where he had 15 home runs overall, but only 33 RBIs. That's to center field, and Dyson should run this one down. He does for out number 1. Kansas City came in at 40-43, third in the American League Central, 6 games behind Detroit because the Tigers won the first game of their series with Cleveland 7-0, and the Tigers bested Cleveland's best in Justin Masterson. Rick Porcello was fantastic. So right now the Tigers rule the roost in the Central, 47-38. Meantime, the A's with a half-game lead on Texas after winning 7 of their last 9. Here's Josh Donaldson, probably the A's leading candidate as far as an offensive player to make it to the All-Star game.
Now, this young man here has seized his opportunity and then some. He feeds off of the success of yesterday. And even if there wasn't any success yesterday, here's a young guy that gets it. He says, you know what? Look, okay, I didn't succeed yesterday. Watch me today. Look at that. Through July 1st, the kid was scuffling. Didn't have any confidence at all. Now look at him. He's one of the best third basemen in the American League.
He'll have to take a back seat at the All-Star game to Miguel Cabrera, pretty good third baseman for the Detroit Tigers. And Fox Saturday, the studio show, will be talking about the results of who will be playing in that All-Star game.
Manny Machado will have something to say about that, too.
I think Cabrera has the lead at third base. I think he has the lead overall.
Well, would you rather have Machado or Donaldson?
Well, I'd like to have both, and they might have to go that way. You know, you have to get a representative from each team.
How about on your team? Would you rather have Donaldson or Machado? Because to me, it's a no-brainer. The kid's 20 years old. Machado. Machado, yeah. You can play him at short, second, wherever your future takes you. That kid is a player. And he's so young.
So you're taking Machado over Donaldson?
I am. Yeah. But that's not any slight to Donaldson.
No, I know. But I'm saying you can take both. By the way, Manny Machado hit another double today.
That's right.
And that gives him 39 for the year. Wow.
Yeah.
Almost 40 before the All-Star break.
It's crazy.
Are you kidding me?
He's on pace to shatter the record.
What is it, 67 by Webb, I believe? Oakland has their first base runner, Josh Donaldson, with Seth Smith at the plate. He went 0 for 5 yesterday. Good power, this left-handed hitter. But Oakland will show considerable more power than Kansas City. They have 36 more home runs than do the Royals.
Seth Smith's 2 for 10 off of Irvin. Couple of walks and 5 strikeouts. When he went to 2-0, you could hear the people here at the crowd at the K going, oh.
Base hit right field. And that's what was so impressive about Oakland last night. It only seemed like they got base hits when they absolutely needed to get them. And they came up with runs against Kansas City on back-to-back hits in the 3rd inning. And then when the Royals made a mistake by walking the leadoff batter, John Jaso, in the 5th inning, the next batter, Reddick, tripled him in. And then Reddick would score in a sacrifice fly.
Well, when you fall behind, hitters know what's coming. Makes it a little bit easier to hit. When they know you're trying to throw a strike, especially with a fastball. So Irvin like to stay on the ground with Reddick. Maybe roll him a pair. Reddick's only grounded into 3 double plays this year, and Irvin would like to make it 4.
We showed you at the start of the show how Santana has dominated this team in the past. 14-6 record with a 2.05 ERA in 27 games. But he has dropped 3 of his last 4, including a 2-1 game on May 18th. Up the middle, coming around is Josh Donaldson, and they will make the Royals pay for the mistake of the walk. And now the runners will advance on the throwing error.
All right, that ball's out over the plate. Looks like a changeup that kind of just stayed on the outer half at 88. Maybe he took something off the fastball there. But Irvin, he's going back up home here, and the ball deflects off of Salvi's thumb of his glove. And by the time Irvin picked it up, the runners had already advanced. So that would be an error on the throw by Dyson.
An error hurt Kansas City last night. A walk hurt them last night, and they have in this second inning. The Royals have walked just 2 batters in this series, and both have scored. Both. Jaso's leadoff walk last night in that 5th inning, and a 1-out walk to Donaldson here in the second has come around to score. Now the infield in. Seth Smith average speed at third base.
That's a good thing, because there wasn't anybody covering home. Smith almost went home on that error.
2-3, they're coming home. Moustakas' throw will get him.
Yeah, that's an easy play for Moose. Little chopper like that, you go get it before you take sit back and make the big hop, and then just make that good strike to the plate. Take the play that's given to you. Yep, no chance. You're not going to get in there, especially when the catcher's got all that gear on. He can block, he can lay right in front of home plate, especially when you're that big.
Now Santana wants to minimize the damage. Oakland scored on a walk, a single, and another single. Runners advancing on the air. Eric Sogard hitting just .257 and 2 for his last 18.
Okay, Irvin doesn't need to worry about Rosales, the first base runner. He's not going anywhere. Doesn't have a stolen base this year, and even if he does, concentrate on Sogard. He's the one who can hurt you here.
To second base, this should do it. Tejada eats it up and throws him out. 1 run on a couple of hits. 2 men left. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Low, Tejada, Moustakas coming up. enter for a chance to win Crown Club tickets. But who will represent the Royals in the All-Star game? Our selections are Gordon, Holland, Santana, and Perez. Text 432-432 to vote.
Toby Cook's in our booth. He thinks Holland's going to get the nod.
Well, Greg Holland, very deserving. I mean, his numbers this year are fantastic. A 1.97 ERA. But more impressive, Rex, 53 strikeouts in 32 innings. He's averaging 15 strikeouts per 9. David Lowe will lead things off for Kansas City. He had a couple of hits. So Greg Holland would be my first choice, Rex, but let's bring in Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery.
Well, let's start with the closer instead of ending with the closer. Monty, what do you think?
Well, I think Greg Holland's an easy choice. He's got great numbers. Relief pitchers obviously are available for the All-Star game, as opposed to some starting pitchers may have that issue where they're going to start on that Sunday prior to the All-Star break. They may not be an option, so it's easy to make that choice with the Greg Holland.
Irvin Santana would work out because where his starts would be would line up perfectly as we see David Lowe strike out. But I think Holland is going to end up being the choice, and he is a very good choice. I'll put him up against most closers in the league. But you know what? I'll put a vote in for Salvador Perez, because you name me a catcher in the American League that's better than him. Mauer's going to be the starter, but I'll take Salvador's defense. I'll take Salvador at the plate. I'm not saying he's better than Mauer at this point, but right now I think Salvador Perez would make this All-Star team better.
They're all valid points, fellas, but I'm going to tell you that Jim Leland, he's a fan of Gordon, Salvador Perez, all of these guys. Now, he knows, he sees firsthand, and he might have a say, depending on if they take 2 or 3 catchers. Salvi could be added.
There's a shot to left field, and it will drop for a base hit. So Miguel Tejada has the Royals' first hit. Takes a wide turn at first, but hangs on there. Now Mike Moustakas, but the one thing, just watching Jared Parker, Rex, he's almost a right-handed version of Tom Malone.
Yeah, he is. He loves his changeup. He's going to try to get you to swing off the plate. Watch this turn. Yeah, I like that. He ran hard until they made him stop. That's what you do. 39 years old. You still give an effort to the game of baseball by going hard.
He was a great Oakland Athletic.
Maybe they learned a little bit of something from last night. Tommy Malone, you know, he got him to swing at a lot of pitches that were down off the plate that weren't strikes. So they should maybe zone Parker up, look up in the zone like Tejada did. The ball was inside, but he's able to get the bat head on. It's not overpowering.
Moustakas really improved his offense with a .274 average in June. And the thing that I was impressed with Pedro Grifol and George Brett, they said, go back and be yourself. Just see the ball, hit it hard. If you're a pull hitter, go ahead and pull. But 4 of his last 7 hits, Rex, have been to left field.
That's a good thing. That ball travel deep, sees it longer. Picking up the release point is everything.
Drops a fastball in there for a 2-1 count.
Okay, Jaso wanted it down and away, and that's where he got it. That wasn't where Moose was looking, so he didn't swing. Still ahead in the count.
Popped up. Foul territory. Donaldson over. He will run out of room.
Okay, that's one catch by a fan. Let's keep track today of how many catches we see from the Kauffman crowd. These fans here are all over the baseball. Okay, now Donaldson, he had to battle the sun and the railing. Wasn't sure. Ball bounces off, one hop off the dugout roof, safely into the hands of a fan.
Tejada's going, and the pitch is pulled to the right side. Miggy will take second base, and Moose is out. Play that goes 4-3.
Okay, that would have worked if the second baseman covered the back of the steal. But he's a pull hitter.
The third and final bobblehead of the Hot Dog Derby Series features the condiment Relish on Saturday, July 20th versus the Tigers. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a Relish bobblehead courtesy of Hy-Vee and Farmland. Gates will open at 4:30, so make sure to come early. For tickets, go to Royals.com/hotdogderby. And fans, if you get here early, you can watch batting practice, which is always enjoyable. A lot of times the Royals will come in after their BP and sign a few autographs. Here's Elliott Johnson, a chance to tie this game at 1 after Reddick single gave Oakland the 1-0 lead. Boy, he is teasing the Royals with that off-speed pitch, whether it's the curve or the change.
Because he's taken a page out of Tommy Malone at his start yesterday. And Elliott Johnson, he laid off of that. They're going to keep throwing it down there if you swing at it. You got to discipline yourself to pick up the release point and see the ball elevated. That's the ones you can do damage on.
2 balls and 1 strike. Parker has thrown 9 straight quality starts. I told you about his last against St. Louis. He only went 3 2/3, shut out the Cardinals' vaunted offense, then suffered that cramp in his right hamstring, had to come out. Prior to that, went 7 against Seattle, 7 against Texas, 8 against New York. Taken care of by Donaldson. A wide throw, but he stayed on the bag, they said, and Rusty Kuntz and Elliott Johnson furious because that would have scored a run. Because Tejada never stopped at third base. He was roaring around and heading home.
Well, you never see Rusty Kuntz that animated, man. So look, he might have a point. Let's see this play.
Well, hard to tell. Might have got the tip.
Might have something over me because he actually rode Charlie O on the field. However, his keeper won't allow him to leave the gate. So what I'm hopeful for is that Charlie O says, Hud, you got to go. We don't want that. Almost.
That is Charlie O, the mule, out in the outfield. And guess who's with us right now as the ball struck to Mike Moustakas, and he will throw out the first batter, Coco Crisp. But it is a gentleman I listened to growing up, Monty Moore, the Kansas City A's broadcaster, and then, of course, with Oakland when you went out west and you won all those world championships. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it very much. I enjoy you guys when you were in California.
Exactly.
So it's good to see you again.
So you're living in Porterville, California now.
Porterville, California. When I left the A's, I bought a couple of radio stations down there and moved there and commuted down to there to do the Saturday game of the week for NBC for about 5 years.
That was a blast. And when the Athletics were here, they were just beginning to get good. Names like Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, Blue Moon Odom we had heard about, but they were still in the minor leagues.
You know, in the 1972 World Series in the 7th game, oh my, that's not the same guy, is it?
That's the same guy. That's you.
That one had hair. But in the 72 World Series, to give you an idea of how those young kids that started off in Kansas City became successful, 8 of the starters in the 72 World Series first game started at the old Municipal Stadium in Kansas City. We had Dave Duncan was the catcher, Sal Bando was the third baseman, Campy Campaneris was the shortstop, Dick Green was the second baseman, Gene Tennis was the first baseman, Joe Rudy was in left field. The only stranger was Billy North in center field. They traded for him. And then in right field, of course, was Reggie Jackson, and Catfish Hunter started the game. So 8 out of the 9 guys all started right here.
And here they are back in Kansas City. They had a wonderful dinner last night. And Monty, you said, what, 34 former Kansas City A's were there?
Yeah, they were there all the way back from 1956. Ray Herbert was there, and he even pitched in 1955.
Wow. Monty, how did you become a big league baseball broadcaster?
Well, it was strange. I was broadcasting it. I was sports director at WDAF here in Kansas City, and the Kansas City Steers of the American Basketball League were playing here, and I was the broadcaster for that team. They had Bill Bridges and Win Will Fong and Gene Tremola and all those guys with the Kansas City Steers, and we were playing in the championship series against the Cleveland Pipers, owned by George Steinbrenner, by the way, and coached by Bill Sharman. We were playing them in the finals, and I was in Cleveland broadcasting, and Park Carroll, who was the general manager of the Kansas City A's, was riding around town taking Charlie Finley to dinner here in Kansas City. And Finley heard the broadcast, and he told Park Carroll, who is that guy? And he said, he might be pretty good for my baseball broadcasting. Well, a few days later, we're back in town, and Charlie had a press conference at the old Mulebach Hotel. I went in, got into the elevator, and there was Park Carroll and Charlie Finley standing in that elevator. And Park said, Charlie, here's that kid you were listening to the other night. And Charlie, without asking me if I'd ever done baseball, said, you want to be my baseball broadcaster?
So
that's a true story.
That's how you got in.
That's how I got in it. Of course, I'd done minor league baseball in Topeka Reds, but not very much, and it was mostly recreation. But
now, Monty, I got another question for you. The dinger. There's a lot of different terms for home runs that we use in baseball. And I heard that you're credited for bringing in the term dinger. That was a dinger.
Well, you know, that happened in Oakland.
They throw behind, but getting back is Jaso.
Happened in Oakland. Darrell Knowles, one of our relief pitchers, you know well.
Old lefty.
He gave up a home run one night, and I interviewed him actually on the next day on our pregame show. And he said, well, things were going well until that doggone dinger got out on me. I said, a dinger? He said, yeah, that's what we're calling home runs out here in the bullpen. So I said, well, that's pretty good. So I started calling home runs dinger, and we're on a road trip, and we had a big doubleheader coming up. When we got back home on a Monday night where it was 2 for 1, and it was against the Kansas City Royals. And so I started saying on the air, hey, everybody ought to bring a bell of some kind, a dinger, to the ballpark on Monday night. And when we got back, and we were both playing for the pennant, I mean, we were close to the pennant, you know, talking about it. We were both teams pretty good. Yeah. And doggone if we didn't have almost 50,000 people out there for that doubleheader, and I bet you over half of them had bells of all sizes, shapes.
That was a loud game.
And a person, some fans who went over to India on a vacation said they were shopping in one of those stores over there, and they found a beautiful brass bell. And it was engraved, you know, all that beautiful artwork. And they brought it back, and one night came up there in the booth and said, you need an official A's dinger. We'd like to present this to you. And I still got it hanging in my room. But even on the road, we took that dinger with us, and when we hit a home run on the road, I rang that bell.
That's awesome. Talk about, you know, inventing and bringing the baseball terminology from the field to the booth.
Yeah.
You did it even back then.
And we were up there for the reunion, the 40th reunion of the 73 World Champions about 2 weeks ago. And it had been advertised who was going to be there, and I bet there were 150, 200 bells in the audience that night. People were still ringing dingers up there.
Right now, Santana trying to work out of a 1-out, 2-on jam, and Moss swings and misses.
Here you're showing Charlie O. the Mule and with Harrelson on there a minute ago. One of the first years that we had the mule. We playing the Red Sox, and Jimmy Pearsall was sitting on the top step of the dugout just right before the game was to start. Harrelson rode that mule back. Pearsall threw a ball and hit that mule right, you know where? And Buck Harrelson almost off the thing.
Can you believe that a player would get on a mule like that? I can't believe he did that.
Well, if you look who the player is.
That's Hawk.
Yeah, he'd do anything, wouldn't he?
Oh, it's beautiful. Now, that takes a lot of courage to do that, especially when you're an active player. You fall off and break your arm, you're in trouble.
Charlie was the kind of guy who would offer you $300 to go do something like that, like grow a mustache or something.
Brandon Moss strikes out, first strikeout for Irvin Santana. And this is an interesting story. They're the sheep. I've told Rex this story where there was a shepherd out there, and the Royals, or excuse me, the Kansas City A's, all of a sudden they started shooting fireworks, much like the Chicago White Sox had done. And you went for quite some time without a home run. And one of the sheep, when they finally fired off the fireworks, had a heart attack and rolled down the hill and got stuck between the fence and the grass. And the shepherd was calling for the grounds crew to help him pull that sheep out.
Those sheep, some of them were, Charlie had some of those sheep painted green and some of them painted gold.
It was
Absolutely.
so funny. And Monty, here's the other thing. In 1962, it was either 61 or 62, I went to my first A's game. And the colors were blue, white, and red. And then in 63, they became green and yellow. What was that story about?
Well, Charlie, that's when Charlie changed to the first color uniform in baseball.
Popped up right side, Hosmer or Tejada. And they're struggling, and a run will score. So Kansas City not defending well in this game. And this will make it a 2-0 contest. That sun, you could tell, was causing problems. You knew the wind pushing from the right to the left was going to blow that ball back onto the field, and they just gifted Oakland a run.
Okay, when Hosmer put his arms out like that shut Miguel Tejada down. Okay, typically a second baseman, that's his ball. But when Hosmer threw his hands up like that, Tejada saw him and he backed off. And then Hosmer didn't continue to try to catch the ball.
Oh, those kind of things kill you.
Well,
they had three guys. I'm not sure any of them saw it right away.
They hurt the Royals last night. A throw by David Lowe that went awry when they had a chance at home plate, and also the drop ball by Lorenzo Cain in right field that cost the Royals 3 runs in that 9th inning.
Mr. Moore, when we still have you up here, Charlie, you lived in Chicago. The ball comes down, he's out.
And
we'll have to continue the conversation.
All right, yeah. Monty, stay with us.
Okay.
We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Oakland is gifted a run by Kansas City and now leads 2-0. And they would cause quite a bit of pain. And there's Charlie O. Finley with the mule, and interesting character, your owner.
That's an understatement, to tell you the truth.
It's Steve Physioc, Rex Hudler with Monty Moore, the voice of the Kansas City and later the Oakland A's. Great to have you in the booth. And tell us more about your owner, Charlie Finley.
Well, see the guys wearing the white shoes. Jaso lost it also.
Yeah, that sun has been mean.
I think these guys never played a day game, Hud.
Well, you know what? It's about the elements of the game. We talk about it all the time up here, Mr. Moore. That the wind, the sun, everything plays a factor, and we've already seen it factor in this one. Now, Dyson, he wants to get the top half of the ball.
Yeah.
You can't get a ball down when you're underneath it. So that high fastball is not one to try to attempt.
I'll tell you about the white shoes. When they first came, when Charlie first brought those things into baseball, it was an open the season against the Cleveland Indians. And Charlie came into the booth before the ball game, and he said, "Hey, listen, radio guys, I want you to explain about the white leather on these shoes." He said, when you talk about these white shoes, you tell them that I'm getting that leather exclusively from a rancher in Australia who raises albino kangaroos.
Oh, my God.
No How many people you think would believe that?
So never let accuracy get in the way of a good story.
And so we said that, and the mail comes in and people saying, "Oh, we checked on there's no such thing."
There's a base hit by Gerard Dyson, so speed on for KC.
And you talked about the green and gold uniforms, Steve. The guy who wore them first and modeled them during the winter is here today, Norm Seaburn.
Really?
Yeah, Norm Seaburn was living in the area, and when Charlie got the green and gold uniforms that he wanted to break into baseball color with, Norm was in town, so Charlie used him as a model to show him. And then further, that story is that year during the All-Star break, Seaburn was chosen for the American League All-Star team by Ralph Houck, who was managing. And at the end of the ball game, every American leaguer had gotten into the game except Norm Seaburn. And people would ask him in the press conference afterwards, and the word goes that Ralph Houck said, "Well, I didn't want Seaburn to go out there in that softball uniform and be embarrassed."
Oh, my God.
So he didn't put him in the game.
Kept him out of the All-Star game because he didn't want him to be embarrassed in that colorful uniform.
Now, didn't Charlie get that color idea from Notre Dame football?
Well, he was a Notre Dame fan, so that very possibly could be. Oh, he's got it made.
Dyson will rip off his 11th base, almost slid past the bag, but was able to get his left foot back on.
That's what's called getting a good jump. Right?
You got that right.
You could have stolen that kind of jump.
Oh, yeah. Now, he gets a good takeaway all the time. He's got blazing speed. He knows how to do that. He got good technique getting in scoring position. Sometimes, though, he gets so much momentum going, he overslides.
The old municipal ballpark, tell you something else Charlie did. He did a lot of crazy things over there, but one thing he did, try to speed up the game. Your pitcher is supposed to deliver the ball 20 seconds after he gets it, rule book. Well, pitchers obviously were not doing that. So Charlie said, "Hey, there's a way to speed up the game." So he had a big clock built out over the left field fence up on the light standard about 8 feet across and 8 feet up, and it would go to 20 seconds.
Oh, my. I do remember that now.
And it only had 20 seconds on the clock.
Oh, yeah, that's all. And as soon as the pitcher got the ball, the guy in the press box would push a button, and that thing would start. Well, by the time it got to 10, what do you think the fans in the stands were doing? 10, 9, 8. So the second day of that thing, as I remember it, American League, the president, Joe Cronin at the time, I believe, got that thing taken down. It is too disruptive for the visiting teams.
Didn't he try and get home field advantage by thinking about bringing the fences in and then out?
He didn't think about it. One year he complained about the Yankees winning so many games because of their pennant porch. It's a short right field porch with a short fence. And so he said, we'll just take care of that. So during the winter, he built a pennant porch. He brought the fence in right field, I forget how many feet, to make it exactly like pennant porch in New York. Well, he wasn't thinking that, we played the Yankees 16 times that year, 8 times here and 8 times there. That was the schedule, and the 154-game schedule played everybody. He wasn't thinking about if the Yankees got advantage in New York, we gave them 8 more games advantage by having a pennant porch here.
That's right. He moved it in for them.
So the next year, he got so many complaints, they built a fence 40 feet high, wire screen, over the right field fence from center field down to the right field foul pole. 40 feet high, wire screen. And it was virtually impossible to hit a home run to right field after that.
First two Royals reach here in the third inning. Dyson at second, Gordon at first, and Eric Hosmer, who lined out his first time up, steps to the plate. And the other thing, growing up in Merriam, Kansas, first being an A's fan and then later being a Royals fan, when my dad brought all 5 kids to the ballpark, he said, okay, each of you get to choose your guy. My sister chose Wayne Causey as her guy. My other sister chose Ed Charles. When it came to me, I chose Gino Cimoli because I loved his name.
Well, when I started in '62, he was the first home run that I ever described in the major leagues.
Really?
Opening day 1962, Gino Cimoli hit a home run, and that was my first description of a big league home run.
It was a dinger.
Yeah, it was a dinger. I didn't know it in those days, but that's what it was. And from that day, I did 3,002 consecutive A's games through 1977, counting the playoffs and World Series.
Wow.
Didn't miss a game for all those years.
Hosmer with a big swing on an off-speed pitch away from him. Dyson led off with a single, stole second base. Gordon walked.
Yeah, that changeup, it'll get you to pull off of it, especially if you're a left-handed batter. That ball goes away.
Don't you think they're throwing more changeup today than they did when you played?
Oh, for sure.
It's just a big pitch now.
That and that little two-seam sinker. Those are really effective pitches that guys use to throw off the timing. Especially with most guys now, Mr. Moore, they throw in the mid-90s, low to mid-90s almost all the time.
I mean, you back that thing down to about 85 with good arm motion, it's a heck of a pitch.
It is.
Hosmer pops it up. Donaldson again, the sun really causing problems, but the infield fly rule was on, and the batter was out, so Hosmer pops to third. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one today, to look forward to Miller time in this afternoon's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here is Billy Butler. Flied out to center field rather deep.
So, Mr. Moore, Charlie Finley, he lived in Chicago. You guys played out in Oakland. How did you keep him informed on what was going on during the games?
Well, Charlie had a speakerphone set up in his office and also at his farmhouse out in LaPorte, Indiana. And he had a special line into WDAF radio, which is our hometown station at that time.
And Dyson will escape to third. Gordon goes to second. Now a base hit by Butler can tie this game.
So Charlie he had a number that he had installed a special line in the WDAF control room, and he would dial that number and he would have the broadcast coming over his speakerphone wherever he was. And when he wasn't around that speakerphone, like in a car or somewhere he didn't have a speakerphone, he would call the ballpark, and MC Hammer, about a 12, 13-year-old kid at that time, and hanging around the ballpark, and Charlie liked him. And he would get Hammer up in the press box. He would pick up the phone. Charlie called him, and Hammer would give him play-by-play of what's going on the field.
Wow.
He couldn't get the radio feed.
Right. He couldn't in Chicago, so he just, he wanted to talk to MC about something or whatever, and who knows why he called. He's called in a lot of people, including the bullpen sometimes.
So he was kind of a control freak guy, huh? He liked to control.
Oh, my goodness, yes. But, these guys that have been here, 34 of these guys, the last couple of days. Of course, you're in Kansas City. Charlie's name is Mud, and rightfully so. He took the ball club out of here and went elsewhere with it. But and Charlie gets castigated a lot, but almost every one of these players, Charlie had done something personally good for them or their families or their families' injuries, and they were telling about a lot of those things last night.
Butler sends it to third. Dyson will score. Butler is out. But Kansas City gets a run on the ground out, so the error is painful for Oakland.
That's a good example of what speed can do. Just the speed and then the threat of speed. Threat made him try to pick him off. Mistake caused by speed, and he scores easily on a one-hopper to third.
That's some great commentary right there, Mr. Moore, that you're right on.
And Monty, I wanted to ask you about one moment about speed, because the Athletics back in 1965 had a very athletic, fast shortstop by the name of Bert Campy Campaneris. And Charlie Finley had him play all 9 positions in one game. And he wound up getting hurt in the game. Could you tell us about that story?
Yeah, they did. It was the last week of the season. We were playing, I believe, the California Angels. I'm not, was it Minnesota Twins? We had Kirkpatrick played in the game. And Campy, they had him be the catcher for the 9th inning. So in case he had a foul tip or something and got hurt, couldn't play the other positions. So he was catching that last inning. And Kirkpatrick was at third base as a runner. And Campaneris earlier in the season, not too long before that, had slid into a base and spiked Kirkpatrick. He thought, purposely, so which we think on a collision like that. So in that inning, one hopper would hit third, Kirkpatrick was running third, and he came down the line, and Campaneris had him out on the throw by 20 or 30 feet, and Kirkpatrick ran over him.
Ooh.
I mean, it looked like a Ray Fosse collision.
Ooh, wow.
And Campaneris was out of the game, and then out the rest. There were 5 more games left in the season, something like that. Campy couldn't play anymore. But he played all 9 positions, including pitching, of course.
I should let you know that Campy was one of Rex's favorite players growing up in Fresno, California.
Well, I tell you, the day that he broke into baseball was really a big one. He was playing in a game in Birmingham, Alabama. I believe it was Birmingham, where the AAA team was, a night, and Wayne Causey, our regular shortstop, suffered a shoulder injury the night before in a night game in Minnesota. And so they had to have another shortstop coming in, so they sent message down to send Campaneris up. He's having a good year down there. Well, Campy spoke no English. They put a sign on his chest, flight number so-and-so, help me get there,
Oh, my gosh.
And he flew all night, 2 or 3 flights, I don't know how many. He got into Minnesota about 10 or 15 minutes before the game, put him in the lineup. The second pitch he got from Jim Cott.
Salvador Perez to right center field. Reddick says he has it. He does. The Royals do not get a dinger in the inning, but they do get a run, and they have cut the A's lead in half. Monty, thank you so much for joining us.
What a pleasure for us to have you up in our booth.
Hey, it's fun, I'll tell you.
Thank you, sir.
Monty Moore, the voice of the old Kansas City A's. Legacy seat. He's a regular blood donor for over 35 years. Larry has donated a total of 200 pints of blood after retiring from the General Services Administration 3 years ago. Larry became a volunteer driver for the Community Blood Center, commandeering one of the CBC's vehicles to pick up blood donations weekly in Topeka, Kansas, and returning them to the main office in Kansas City. What a guy. Over 35 years a blood donor. And here comes Irvin Santana to deal with the Oakland A's here in the top of the 4th inning, it will be Josh Reddick, Adam Rosales, and Eric Sogard. And by the way, we have in our booth Cole and Dave Kiersnowski, who were the broadcast auction winners from a couple of weeks ago, and they are joining us in the booth. And there they are. Dad is Dave and Cole is the son, and they got to watch Josh Reddick from the broadcast booth. It's struck out by Irvin Santana.
That's right, Fizz. You know, Cole, he might actually become a broadcaster someday. So not only did they pay for the experience, his dad, but this could be something that this young man does in the future.
Yeah, he was with Ryan Lefevre earlier in the radio booth.
We really appreciate you guys and your support to Royals Charities.
And now the batter is Adam Rosales. With runners in first and third, he hit a ground ball to third, and Mike Moustakas threw perfectly to Salvador Perez to catch Seth Smith at the plate. In there. The A's won last night 6-3. And they scored a run in the second, a run in the third. Santana wants to keep it quiet here and then send the Royals offense back out in their bottom half of the 4th with Lowe, Tejada, and Moustakas coming up. And Adam Rosales with a sharp single to left.
Adam is their energy player. He's the guy who plays on day games after night games. He's got a lot of energy, and we'll show you a little flashback. You want to see energy and when a guy hits a homer? Now, we don't want to see that homer here, but watch how this guy goes. I mean, it's like he's digging for an inside the Parker, and that ball's already over the fence. That's some respect to the opponent that he hit the home run off of into the game. I love that.
And that's what's really impressive about this Oakland Athletic team. Everybody knows their job. Rosales is not an everyday player, but when he gets out there, he does what he is supposed to do. He is fundamentally sound. He can play second, short, third base. There is Eric Sogard, the second baseman, another guy who doesn't play every day.
Hey, Fizz, Cole's standing up here. He's got a headset on. Cole, what have you experienced so far in your broadcast tour?
We got to see radio booth, got to come in here. We got to go see the big screen booth.
Have you been out to the TV trucks out in the back?
We haven't yet. We're going to go see that soon.
Oh,
that is fascinating.
Yeah.
That's when whenever you watch a game of any sport, you'll say, wow, I know what goes into that production. There's 10 or 15 of our teammates out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Do you want to be a broadcaster?
Yeah, maybe. It'd be really fun. It'd be cool.
Got a couple of great role models right here, Fizziak and Ryan Lefevre over there, and Denny Matthews, guys that are the ultimate pros that you're able to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, what you'll really need to do is get with Sam Abramson, because he can not only teach you about how to really put together a great production as far as video and how to edit perfectly, but he can also teach you about life.
Mm-hmm.
Got an Emmy Award winning director in Steve Kurtenbach down there. He'll be calling the shots. But that's one thing that every time we've sent a family member or a friend into the truck wrecks, they want to stay there, because that is the nerve center where it seems like it's chaos, but it's organized chaos.
And it's a baseball game.
That ball hit to left field. Alex Gordon will make the catch for out number 2. Here comes Coco Crisp. So, Cole, what would you like to do with your career? I mean, what's next for you? Have you made a college choice yet?
I haven't made a college choice. I'm going to be a junior. I'm gonna go to some colleges, see what I like. I don't know. For after college, I love sports, so hopefully I can find a job somewhere in sports. We'll see.
Fantastic. Well, KU, K-State, Mizzou all have good broadcast programs.
Play any sports?
I play basketball and tennis.
There you go.
Where do you go to high school?
Pembroke Hill.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
Yep.
My mom taught at Bishop Miege, not far from Pembroke.
Okay.
Pemday, they used to call it.
Who's your favorite Royals player?
Probably Alex Gordon.
He has a lot of fans in Kansas City. Just barely outside. Our cameraman Morgan Kramer has a Pemday grad.
Way to go, Morgan.
And they have produced some pretty good basketball players.
Yeah, Jerron
Rush, and they also sent one to UCLA, I believe, one to Mizzou, another one to Kansas. Very strong athletic program, and there is a strike, and Santana gets back in the count against Coco Crisp. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Coco 0 for 2 this afternoon. He flied to right and grounded out to third. 3 RBIs in last night's 6-3 win.
Okay, you got to be impressed with the pickoff moves from the Royals pitchers. Okay, I don't know if they're all taking a page from James Shields, who throws accurate and hard down right at the first base bag. All of a sudden, Wade Davis, Irvin Santana, Mendoza, Guthrie, they're all showing their great moves there. Gordon takes that ball a little bit easier than he did a few days ago.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And Cole and Dave Kiersnowski, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to see you. Learning Quest 529 Education Savings Program members receive a gray batting practice jersey, Royals hat, blue wristbands, ticket vouchers, priority access for the Sunday fun run, and much more. Membership is just $25. Be a part of the fun all year long by joining at Royals.com/Blue Crew. It is 2-1. Oakland has the lead. Both teams have made mistakes that have resulted in runs. David Lowe will be leading things off. Parker really worked Lowe last time up with off-speed pitches, changeups, curveballs. And David really wants to discipline himself to only swing at a strike.
Okay, now I like the fact that David Lowe attempted a bunt in his first at bat. Okay, this young player here needs to develop that bunt if he hasn't. Continue to work on that bunt because that can help another element of his game. Bring the corners in and it opens up the field. When you're not a power hitter and you're an outfielder, you got to be able to do some other little things, and he has the ability to do that. He's so young. He's in the early embryo stages of his big league career. You want to try to work on a few things that can enhance your success out there. You pull those corner guys in, you slap it by them, and then that opens up a whole nother lane for doubles. He's plenty of good enough athlete to learn how to do that at least once or twice a game. Try it. Bring the corners in. This guy, he's a nice player, okay? And you want to continue to work and get better. Impress your team and the 29 others that are watching.
To second base, Sogard tosses out Low. Get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Santana's topped out at 96, Parker at 93. He has really kept particularly the younger hitters for Kansas City off balance with his off-speed pitches and his great command of those. Now Miguel Tejada, and the A's scouting department did a terrific job scouting him when he grew up in Bani in the Dominican Republic. Bani means obstacles of great danger. And it is one of the country's poorest regions, and when he finally made a little bit of money with the Oakland Athletics, he immediately built a stadium for his community.
Huge heart.
Tries to bunt his way on.
Okay, now he bluffed the first time, first pitch. Donaldson was well back at third base. And he looked at Tejada like, go ahead, bunt if you can. And then Tejada said, all right, I'll do it. And he fouled that one off. Donaldson came flying in. But you got a guy who throws the changeup a lot. That's a great pitch to bunt.
Back our way. Hud. Tejada signed with the A's 20 years ago. 1993 for $2,000, and he was so poor growing up, he said he held that money in his hands and he cried like a baby.
Believe me, he hasn't forgotten about that, and he's continues to give back.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out here. 3 strikeouts from Parker. The battle boy Mike Moustakas. The A's will play Moose to pull on the infield, but pretty much straight up in the outfield.
So Parker's trying to take a page out of the left-hander Tommy Malone's book that he used last night. And so far it's working. Not exactly to the perfection that Malone had.
But just missed his pitch.
He did. But this young kid here, Parker, he's charting the game on TV. He's watching every pitch, what every hitter does. So then he's able to transfer that, what he hopes, into the game the next day. And all starting pitchers do that. The night before they pitch, they chart the game.
Joel, what do you have?
Oh, there's a little bit of history between these guys. When Mike Moustakas was 18 years old, senior year of high school, he played for Team USA on a team that went to Cuba, and Jared Parker pitched on that team. How about this infield, guys? Freddie Freeman was at first, Christian Colon at second, Moose's high school teammate Matt Dominguez at third, Justin Jackson from the Blue Jays at short. So Moose ended up having to play left field and some first base on this team, but he said got to know those guys really well because the families couldn't go to Cuba, so spent about 10 days together.
Wow, that's pretty cool. How about that? Moose can play outfield.
And it's amazing that the traveling teams they have now that are so very important. to the growth of a young athlete. Here in Kansas City, they have so many outstanding fields, both on the Missouri and Kansas side, and those were opportunities a lot of kids didn't have growing up in the 70s and 80s that are here now. And Mike growing up in Southern California.
Get out!
He belts one high and deep. And this game is tied 2-2 on a Moustakas dinger.
Moustakas. He saw the pitch he was looking for. It was a floating changeup up in his wheelhouse, and he didn't miss it. Ooh, yeah, right down the middle. Yeah. There you go, Moose.
6th home run of the year.
The reason I call it a Moustakas is because he stuck it nice and short to the ball with the back underside.
Well, then why wouldn't it be Moustakas?
Well, it just comes out, but it's a Moustakas. It was beautiful.
That sounds like a Greek dessert you're talking about.
He is a Greek dessert.
2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th in Kansas City. And this is a day the fans receive the old Kansas City A's t-shirt. Elliott Johnson. Josh Reddick in right. Takes care of it, but with 2 out, 2 old friends who played on Team USA, as Joe Goldberg told us. But Moustakas got his old friend Parker. Has bragging rights for now.
Can the Moose be loose?
Hope so. Montgomery, who comes up to talk with us about pitching. Tell us about what you think of Santana thus far.
Well, Santana's been a guy that has been reliable for the Royals. Hopefully today he's going to be reliant through maybe 7 or 8 innings.
Your pitch, Monty.
I like this slider. I like his slider a lot. Out in front here, going to get on top of it. We're going to release that pitch like we're opening up a doorknob right at the end. It's going to be the way it's going to get that finish. It's going to be on top, coming through the baseball, and then turn right at the end.
Why wouldn't a guy throw that every pitch if it's his good pitch, Monty?
Well, hitter's going to eventually make the adjustments, and they're going to sit on that pitch. So you got to have to pick your spots. It's a great pitch. Sometimes Santana's slider is good enough he could tell the hitters he's throwing it, and they'd still have difficulty.
What would that do to your elbow if you were a pitcher and you threw that pitch every pitch?
Well, if you have improper mechanics, you're probably going to have a very sore elbow for a long time. In fact, you're probably going to blow that elbow out and go under Tommy John surgery.
He has a 2-1 count with John Jaso. Fouls it back, and Santana back in the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I understand he throws that slider 40% of the time, which is the most in the American League.
Yeah, and the slider is a great pitch. It's fastball motion from the arm, and then right at the end, like I say, you get that finish where you're on top, and the wrist kind of does the work right at the very end. But if you throw any pitch with proper mechanics, you have a chance of staying healthy, and that's been the case with Santana. He stays on top of the ball so well that it's not a factor as far as injury.
Well, there's the slider, and there's the strikeout.
And that is a good one. That is the one that finishes out of the strike zone. Have him set up perfectly to throw that pitch. It looks like a strike, and right at the very end, it just really kind of vanishes. Bottoms out. The key is being right on top of the ball. If you get on the side of the ball, it just kind of spins. When you're on top, it bottoms out, just like we see here. Real slow release here. See, it looks like a fastball to a hitter. He's still behind the ball. Then right at the very end, just lets it do its work.
That's from the Fox Phantom Cam from last week in Minnesota. Now the batter is Yoenis Cespedes, and he tried to make it 3-2 Oakland on one swing.
Monty, when you put pressure on that middle finger in for that slider, and then you throw it, and then you see the wrist pronate, it turns the other way. How does that happen?
Well, it's just a matter of, I always say when you throw a pitch, your arm does all the work the same on every pitch, but from your wrist to the tip of your fingers, that's like your steering wheel. That's what steers the baseball, and that's what he does so well. Santana steers the baseball by being behind the ball, and the hitter, it appears to be a fastball. It appears to have the same arm speed, the same arm slot, and the same motion as his fastball, but then at the end when he uses that steering wheel to get that finish on that pitch, it makes it very, very difficult to hit.
I wonder if he has him set up for that slider right here. He does. He had thrown a fastball at 96 that on a 2-2 count that he fouled off, and then went up and in, to make it that count.
But he changed the eye level on the pitch before with the fastball that was up, and then he comes with on the other side of the plate and finishes off the plate down and away. So you change the eye level and you change the side of the plate. Very, very effective when you do that consistently.
He really roared up and in with that fastball. It's like you said, even when you tell a guy you're doing it and they might be saying, oh, the slider's coming next, because they got no chance.
They have a real good book on what pitchers throw, and they know that he throws that pitch almost half the time, and especially in counts where he's ahead, he's going to throw it. And but if it's effective and you execute the pitch, it's very, very difficult to hit it.
That changeup he just threw right there, that's an important pitch for Irvin. He's got to be able to change speeds other than the slider.
I agree, especially left-handed batters. He's got another feature pitch against left-handed batters.
That's low 95. That was a good place to put it.
Very patient team. He has a 3-0 count on Brandon Moss, who has walked 28 times this year.
Irvin wanted that.
It's a strike across, and he, according to our Toyota League leaders, is one of the lowest opponents on base percentages in the game.
I think that's all a byproduct of throwing strikes, huh, Monty?
Right, you got to pound the strike zone, trust your stuff. I was talking to Wade Davis today after his game last night. The difference was he trusted his stuff, and when you have good stuff and you trust it, you're going to get numbers like we see here with Irvin Santana on the lowest opponent's batting on pace percentage against, and that's what it's all about. Eliminate base runners. You're going to eliminate a lot of really bad things happening. We talk about the desire for teams to get more walks, and I can tell you as a pitcher, when I walk a guy, it hurts me. I know that I haven't done my job.
Inside corner, Santana strikes out the side in the 5th. We head to the bottom of number 5. Irvin dominating Oakland in the middle innings.
He's the magic man. Now you see it, now you don't. You got to go.
the Panera Way. Live consciously. And by Ford. See the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today. And by ATT Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. There is Charlie O. the Mule as we're enjoying Kansas City A's Day at the ballpark. The fans receive T-shirts representing the Kansas City A's, who were here from 55 through 67. And then we missed Major League Baseball for a year, and the Royals became our team in 69. Dyson pulls it down the line. Boy, that would have been likely a triple with his speed. But it curls foul.
And it's so fun to watch guys on full throttle when they get a gapper that can run like Dyson. That's exciting. And a lot of fans will tell you there's not more an exciting play than a triple. Monty, I don't know if you ever saw Willie Wilson hit.
Reddick will reach it, and here we go, Hud.
Keep going.
Oh, he put the brakes on. I thought he had third easily.
I did too, but there's nobody out. There's no chance in risking him getting thrown out at third base. But a late break by by Riddick out there.
He didn't get a jump. He thought it was hit a lot harder. And this is what Dyson just wants to continue to do. Just put the bat on the ball. Didn't take the greatest route either, but he'll take it.
It looks like it broke in just a little bit, and the ball got behind him.
Yeah, didn't take a good route, but see, Dyson wasn't exactly going until now. He gets that triple easy if he goes hard his first 10 steps out of the box.
I agree.
And Alex Gordon goes after the off-speed pitch from Jared Parker. Joel, you wanted to talk about Alex.
Well, you know, we saw Alex collide with that wall the other night, and then he was down and out. And talking to some of the guys today, the conversation that went on with Alex, Bruce Chen was the first to get to him. He went through the gate, and Bruce said to him as Alex is laying there with his eyes closed, he said, Gordo, can you hear me? Alex says, yes. He says, Gordo, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And then he says, Gordo, do you want anything? Well, at the time, Luke Hochshaver's telling me and the guys in the bullpen, they couldn't really laugh about that because they were concerned about Alex's well-being. But now they've all gotten to joking about it afterwards, including Alex, saying, well, what was he supposed to say? Gordo, do you want anything? Yeah, how about some gum and, I don't know, maybe a Gatorade and a golf cart. And so they have all been having a good time with that.
The count is 2-1 on Alex. It's just great to see him back after he missed the last 2 games because of that right hip and possible head injury, but they did all of the tests, sent the information from the Kansas City doctors to Major League Baseball, who approved his coming back in the 6th inning last night. Now he either wants to get Dyson in or get him over.
How about getting him and Dyson in on one swing?
That would be very exciting. As Monty Moore would say, how about a dinger? 3-1. He walked Gordon his last time up when Dyson stole second base and first base was open.
Gordon, he's spitting on that pitch. It's not his pitch.
Parker's thrown 73 pitches.
If anything, he wants to pull it, get Dyson over to third.
Walked him.
Take the walk.
And here's what Joel was talking about earlier when Alex Gordon ran into the left field wall and was laying there, and Bruce Chen helped his teammate out, but he just said, you know, Alex is such a tough guy. If he's laying down, you know he's hurt.
Steve, that's one reason I was very happy to see Alex Gordon in the lineup today, because when he was laying on the ground out there, you're thinking worse things, maybe something with his knee or something with his legs. It's going to really be very, a long-term deal.
Yeah, until we saw the replay and we saw him slam his head on that gate, I thought it was only a lower body problem. But, you know, how many times have you guys experienced falling off balance and landing on your tailbone and not having any control or any hands to stop you? I mean, that's quite a jolt to your system.
There's no doubt about that. And Alex, very scary when he does that because, like you said, Steve, he's a tough guy. If he stays on the ground, something's not right.
Right now, 2 on, nobody out. Hosmer, one of the Royals' hottest hitters, up, and he sends it up the middle, but this could be 2, a 6-3 double play. So now you look at it, had Dyson been on third, the Royals have the lead, but he decided not to extend that double into a triple.
Yep, it's a little unfortunate right there. But that's what Parker does.
And now Billy Butler must come through to get him home. Billy has been on base, remember, in 32 consecutive games. And he continues to start Billy off. Well, the first 2 at-bats, he started him off speed. Now he starts him with a fastball at 92 that misses.
Yeah, that was the 14th double play that Parker has induced. That's 7th most in the American League.
Well, I tell you, he knows how to pitch.
Guys, I talked with A's pitching coach Kurt Young earlier today about Parker, and said he feels like he's got the 3rd best changeup in all of baseball, behind our James Shields and Felix Hernandez. He said his changeup is a very, very high quality pitch.
Wow. And he was Arizona's first-round pick in 2007 out of Norwell High School in Indiana. There it is again for a strike on a fastball count, and I'm sure Billy was getting ready to fire on the fastball and recognized, nope.
Well, what hitters also have to recognize is when a guy uses a certain pitch 40% of the time, you can almost look for that.
Well, he started with Arizona, but then traded to Oakland with Ryan Cook, who's been outstanding in the bullpen, and outfielder Colin Cowgill for Trevor Cahill, who went to the All-Star game prior to that, and Craig Breslow. And right now, it is a trade that's really worked out well for the Athletics.
We saw him start out 2 balls, no strikes against Billy. Now he's going back-to-back changeups, and that's one thing Kurt Young said was he'll throw at any count, right-handed batter or left-handed batter.
And then he moves up in the strike zone with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Strikes out Butler.
Chris Davis goes deep for a home run. His 33rd on the year, 85 RBIs. Oh, by the way, last year in one full season he had 33 homers and 85 RBIs. most home runs before the All-Star break since Barry Bonds in 2001.
And here is Irvin Santana, who struck out the side. He'll start the 6th inning against Josh Donaldson, Seth Smith, and Josh Reddick. Santana has thrown 72 pitches through 5. And there is strike 1. Donaldson has been on twice with a walk and a single. That was a base hit that should have been caught by either the right fielder, the second baseman, or first baseman of Kansas City. And he belts this one high and deep, and Gordon's going back and will watch it leave. 3-2 Oakland. His 15th home run of the year.
11th given up to a right-handed batter by Irvin. You throw a lot of strikes like Irvin does, and that ball, he kind of drifted back over the middle, but he was quick with his hands inside. You see that flamingo kick that he does to load, and then he unloads. A lot of lower body involved with that swing.
He's got a quick bat, and he's very quick inside.
Tail of the tape said it went 423. This Oakland team awfully difficult to beat. We told you they have won more games than any other team since Independence Day last year to this season. The Royals have not beat them yet this year. As a matter of fact, you go back the last 14 games, 15 including this one, the Royals have scored just 32 runs, barely over 2 per game. KC had a golden opportunity in that 5th inning with a leadoff double by Dyson and could not score. Smith to right field, Lowe charges on. He'll make the catch. 1 out.
Great day for ball. Look at the flags. Flags blowing straight out. Hitters love that. Pitchers not so much. Lots of times when the team bus arrives before the game, the hitters are all looking at the flags to see which way the flags are blowing, and the pitchers are hoping it's blowing in. Is that right, Monty?
I will confirm that.
Yes. Going back to the minor leagues, same thing. That's what that knows the elements of the game. The wind affects the game more than any other element besides the sun.
Well, I've talked to Alex Gordon. I said, what is it like when I see the flags in right field just roaring towards left? And he said, that doesn't mean it's blowing out towards left. He said, I have to go out there during batting practice to get an understanding of how it's blowing at that time, because he said that big scoreboard will knock down a lot of the wind, and then the bowl shape of Kauffman Stadium, the wind will whip it around, and you'll see Alex always go after a ball struck into foul territory, because a lot of times the wind will push it back onto the field, and that's where you'll see him make excellent catches up against that wall. So now 2 outs. And Adam Rosales, the batter. Elliott Johnson, almost a wide throw, but Hosmer is able to keep his foot on the bag. A run from Josh Donaldson. It's 3-2 Oakland. Thanks, Monty. 3-2 lead over Kansas City. And fans, you've known for years that StubHub is a great place to find the seats you want to see the Royals in person. Now they've added StubHub fan rewards so you can earn a little extra with your tickets, like seat upgrades. So head to StubHub and get your Royals tickets today. And of course, the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Doug Lawrence from Rushville, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Doug will win $200. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Doug will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. A little bit low. 2 balls and no strikes. Salvador today has struck out swinging and popped up to right. Let's take a look at our sprint results, because Salvador was one of our candidates for the question, who will represent the Royals in the All-Star game? 39% went with Alex Gordon. Only 13% with Greg Holland, who is extremely deserving with a brilliant first half. Salvador was up there as well. And of course, our All-Star selection show today on Fox at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 right here in Kansas City. And there is a ground ball deep short. Backhanded is Rosales. He throws out Salvador Perez. So Parker has allowed just 2 runs on 4 hits. The Athletics have 3 on 6. Kansas City has scored only 10 runs in 5 games against Oakland this year. They suffered those 3 one-run losses at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in mid-May. Low, skies it in the air. That sun bothering Coco Crisp, but he will make the catch for out number 2. Time for our AT trivia question. Who led the Kansas City A's in home runs in 1967? Was it Sal Bando, Ken Harrelson, Reggie Jackson, or Rick Monday? We all remember that Rick Monday was the bonus baby. Reggie Jackson was still in the minor leagues in much of the late 60s, and of course he emerged as a member of the Oakland team. 68, became great in the early 70s. That ball stroked. Look at Tejada run hard every single time. He is out. Parker has worked 6 solid innings, but Tejada loved the way he plays the game.
I'll say.
just saw the Kierzynowskis in our truck, and there's Steve Kurtenbach, the Emmy Award-winning director, Joe Libero, and there's Dave Kierzynowski. They won that broadcast auction. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, they're in there checking out how it's all produced and directed.
Al, and there's Sam. Look at him. Wave to us, Sam. Oh, he's busy working. We have a fantastic production crew here at Fox Sports Kansas City. Here is Eric Sogard and Irvin Santana continuing his excellent day. And you consider, Rex, what Irvin Santana has done. He has pitched in at least 6 innings in all 16 starts this year, the longest active stretch in the major leagues. And he's thrown 7 or more innings 11 times. But he, much like Shields, has not had much run support.
Yep. Can't control that part of the game.
Sogard. Dyson on his horse, won't reach this one. And it will be a ground rule double for Eric Sogard.
Well, Dyson was playing shallow. Didn't expect him to get a hold of a Santana offering like that and drive it like he did. There's a leadoff double. He got it all.
Santana just slammed down the rosin bag, angry with himself. But quite frankly, Rex, the Royal starting pitchers have pitched in so many stressful innings because the offensive numbers aren't there. And they broke out with a pretty good month of June, going 16-11. But the starting pitching was the strength of that. And there's a fly ball struck to Dyson. He will make the catch. Sogard's going to go. Here's the throw by Dice. And he is out!
Well, I'll tell you what. That's really a gamble right there that shouldn't have been taken. He's already in scoring position right there. This is a ball that's bringing the center fielder in. Dyson has a good throwing arm, and Moustakas helped him. He deked him. He just stood there because the runner can't see us. So all he sees is the third baseman. Look at Moose just standing there, and then he catches the ball and gets him by plenty. See how Moose, he kind of deked him, just stood there like there wasn't going to be a play. And Dyson gets his 4th outfield assist.
That is a big double play in a close game in the 7th. Jaso rolls one to third. Moose will take care of this one. And it is a 1-2-3 inning for the Athletics against Irvin Santana.
Okay, Moose got him a pitch he could handle. He was looking in that certain spot, and he got it, and it was a no-doubter. That was a beautiful stroke, and they're going to need more of those to beat Oakland today. Back in the 4th inning with 2 outs.
It was a changeup that stayed up. He'd love to get another one of those and tie this game with a multi-home run contest. He hit it a long way over the bullpen into the seats. There is ball 1 from Parker, who is past the 90 pitch mark. This young man, just 23 years old, from Fort Wayne, Indiana. 13 wins last year in his rookie season. Moose pops it up. And the third baseman, Donaldson, gathers it in. He had circled the ball, but we talked about the wind coming around the bowl of the stadium and then roaring out, pushing so many up fouls back towards the field.
Yep, you just never know either with that sun, the way it's going. He's blocking it up and it's carrying him towards the line. If that goes off of his glove and lands in the fair territory, it's a fair ball.
Here's Elliott Johnson, shows bunt. Pulls it back. Ball 1. Elliott 0 for 2. And 0 for his last 21, seeing his batting average dip to .215. And he had that sensational series against his old club, the Tampa Bay Rays, and since that time, very quiet. Play one more tomorrow afternoon. A.J. Griffin will be on the mound for the Athletics. Luis Mendoza goes for Kansas City, and then we head to New York for 4 games. Guthrie, Shields, Davis, Santana will be throwing for KC. The Yankees will counter with Hughes, Sabathia, Nova, and Pettit. 7-game road trip to New York and Cleveland, and then it's the All-Star break.
Hey, Elliott Johnson's doing all he can to get out of that 0 for 20 streak he's in.
But with his speed, even take a walk, because he is so quick and 11 for 11 stealing bases. They'd love to see him in scoring position. He will get on with a base hit to right, and that ends the 0 for 21. Royals fans want to be included in a Royals TV commercial? Well, go to Royals.com/photo challenge to submit a photo of your Royals pride. Each week we request a different themed photo to submit, and fans with winning photos will be included in the commercial and then recognized on the field at a Royals game. All photos must be submitted by August 9th, so make sure to check out Royals.com/photo challenge today. Gerard Dyson is 2 for 2 with a single and a double. And that double led off the 5th inning. He thought he might be able to leg it out for a triple, and the result was he was in scoring position. But had he gone to third after the walk to Gordon, that double play grounder that Hosmer hit into would have scored Dyson.
But if Dyson would have, on contact, came out of the box, quick, watch him. He's not going full blast here. Now he goes full blast, and it cost him a triple and a run, because he could have easily been at third base there.
3-2 instead. Oakland has the lead. Elliott does not go, And Parker was freezing. Elliott 11 for 11 stealing bases this year. It's a 2-0 count.
This is an action count. Parker's got to come in there around the plate to Dyson. Dyson, can hit that ball, try to hit the hole.
Big gap between first and second base.
There's a nice little lane right there, too, he could pull it into.
3-0.
Wasn't his pitch.
So are you going to let Elliott stay and force Parker to throw 3 straight?
Yeah, there's no need to run right here, for sure.
Elliott does go, and the pitch is high, ball 4.
Okay, so for Elliott Johnson, that was a good practice steal. Got a great jump, completed it with a nice slide. Even though it's ball 4, it still was good practice.
Bob Melvin has 5 relief pitchers who have an ERA either at 3 or below, so he wants to go one of those strong members of his bullpen right here, right now. This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. T trivia question and answer. Who led the Kansas City A's in home runs in 1967?
Reggie Jackson.
About Hawk? No? Let's give you the answer. Rick Monday, the bonus baby. 14 home runs for the A's in their final season in KC. Now, Ken Hawk Harrelson led the American League in RBIs as a member of the Boston Red Sox. Jerry Blevins comes out of the bullpen. He is not allowed a run in 17 of 18 career appearances against the Royals. The 2 on base belong to Parker. Lefty-lefty matchup. Alex Gordon has been so tough this year against lefty pitchers.
Okay, Blevins has got a low to mid-90s fastball, and he's going to work a curveball. He's got 2 different speeds of the curve. He'll save his changeup for righties.
And actually, he's been more successful against right-handers than lefties. Righties batting 197, lefties 268.
Royals running out of time. Why not now?
They've done so much of their damage on this homestand after the 5th inning.
Gordon hitting .375 off of lefties with 4 homers.
2 balls and no strikes. Good discipline by Alex.
I'm sure that Bob Melvin, he knows, because he brought in the lefty to face the left-handed batters coming up, Gordon and Hosmer, but I'm sure he also knows that Hosmer is hitting .337 off lefties and Gordon .375, so he might be playing into the Royals' hands here.
Three and 0.
Okay, we saw Alex hit his second grand slam of the year on a 3-0 count. Against Cleveland, we'll see if he can do it here. If he gets a green light.
He walks him on 4 pitches, and Kansas City has the bases loaded for Eric Hosmer. This is really where you want to make your opponent pay for their mistakes.
Hosmer 2 for 5 with him loaded up this year with a double. Gordon with his 3rd walk of the day. Seeing the ball. He's coming off of, after his 3 days out, he's coming back, he's not hacking, he's eyeballing, and that's good, setting the tone.
The Royals have hit 4 grand slams this year. 1 by Billy Butler, 2 by Alex Gordon, 1 by Lorenzo Cain. Hosmer has him loaded with good speed at 3rd and 2nd. Very good speed with Johnson and Dyson. Good speed at 1st and Alex Gordon. That should tie the game. Johnson is tagging. Here he comes. The throw will go to 3rd, and Kansas City has locked it up at 3 on a sacrifice fly by Eric Hosmer.
All right, they'll take it. They'll exchange an out for a run. They were hoping for more, but that'll work. I'm sure Melvin's going to bring in a righty here now. Coco Crisp not blessed with a good arm. He's had a couple of shoulder surgeries. He can't throw very well. Dyson decided he would just stay at 3rd base, and that's the wise decision because he can score on anything Billy hits to the outfield.
We will see Ryan Cook, who is the other member in the trade, when he and Jared Parker were acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. The 4 for 44 deal from the Royals and Taco Bell. You get 4 tickets to a Royals game, 4 special edition hats, and 4 Taco Bell Doritos Locos Tacos Supreme coupons, all for $44 plus tax. This package is good for any Royals home game while supplies last. Get your tickets at the Kauffman Stadium box office or by going to Royals.com/Taco Bell. Well, the Royals have the right man in the right spot, Billy Butler, the leading RBI man this year with 47. He is 0 for 3 with a flyout, a groundout that did drive in a run, and a strikeout. He's facing a hard thrower in Ryan Cook. The runners go. The pitch taken and no throw. A double steal by Dyson and Gordon on the first pitch by Cook.
Now, I was just going to say that a double steal is possible here. But really, there's no need for it with Billy up. But you're only going to do this if you know for 100% you can make it. And Dyson, sure enough, did. He did overslide third, but the throw wasn't there. So now he's got him right where he wants him.
Now a wild pitch or pass ball. Billy takes his strike.
He's got that good fastball. There's this little slider, and he's got a split finger he'll use too. He's kind of quirky too. He's a little funky. Once he takes the ball out of his hand, he holds it down in back of his body a little bit. So there is some deception in his delivery.
There's right field. Reddick comes on to make the catch, and the Royals do score a run, but they leave 2 in scoring position. We head to the 8th. 3-3 game in KC.
And Detroit and Cleveland, will keep our eye on that as they are just underway. Our Mazda game break takes us to that Twins game up in Toronto. What a day for Brian Dozier. 4 RBIs, including this 3-run home run. Mike Pelfrey gets the win as the Twins blank the Blue Jays. Some news and notes on the day. How about this? Yasiel Puig last night, 3rd player in MLB history with 50 hits in his first 30 Major League games, joins DiMaggio and Roy Weatherly, who both did it in 36. Manny Machado leads the majors with doubles. Oh, by the way, he turned 21 today. And Jared Weaver becomes a father and names his son Aiden after his former teammate, the late Nick Aidenhart. What a special, special honor that is.
Yes, indeed, because Rex and I broadcast that game when Nick Aidenhart got the win and then was in the terrible car accident later that night. A drunk driver ran into Nick and several friends, and it was a tragedy that will long live in our hearts, Rex.
Yeah,
and I think that's a great gesture by Jared Weaver.
Sure it is. It was a very, very tragic time.
Here is Aaron Crow, and he will give up a single to Yoenis Cespedes to lead off the 8th inning. So another very strong game by Irvin Santana. He goes 7 innings for at least 7 or more for the 12th time this year.
Crow's got to really keep that ball down and mix in his pitches. Let him sit on one thing. He's a fastball slider, but he's got a couple of different looks to his slider. His mechanics got to be right. His shoulder pulls off. On his fastball, he leaves it up and away. He's got to really focus on staying square with Salvi. Straight downhill. Slider, same thing. Keep the shoulder closed, stay on top. Get that good breakdown.
Moss 0 for 3. Athletics with 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors. The Royals 3 runs, 5 hits. They have suffered 1 error. Two balls and 2 strikes as Aaron Crow trying to get the first out of this 8th inning. The Royals will have the middle of the order. Hitters 4, 5, and 6 coming up in the bottom half of the inning. Perez, Lowe, and Tejada.
He's really got to be careful with location with Moss. Of his 15 home runs, he's hit 13 of those off of righties. So be careful with this location because Moss he's an extra base hitter.
In there. Strike 3 called, and Brandon knew it immediately.
Hey, he must have thought something else was coming, but that's a good fastball right there, right down the middle. It's a good spot.
Now Aaron must deal with the most dangerous Oakland Athletic, Josh Donaldson, their leading candidate to go to the All-Star game. And he is perfect this afternoon. He walked, singled to drive in a run, and then homered in the 6th to give Oakland a short-lived lead when KC came back in their half of the 7th on the Hosmer sacrifice fly to tie it up. But that single he had, I remember Rex when he had the swing, he put his head down and said, "Oh man, I popped it up." And that was the ball that dropped when it should have been caught near the foul line down the right field line, and Jasa would score. That would have been the final out of the 3rd inning. Takes a big rip at the slider.
Well, Balfour's got to go to the All-Star game.
22 for 22 in save opportunities this year. Well, Oakland's in first place, so you would figure several would go. Bartolo Colon has been their top starter. He's 11 and 3. How about that? Aaron Crow dial it up to 97 miles an hour to strike out Donaldson.
He had to find something. That guy's a red hot, and that's excellent pitching. This is what Crow can do.
Boy, that had late movement to it.
Sure did.
His rookie year, he represented the Royals in the All-Star game. Aaron Crow, the rookie out of Mizzou. And now he's facing Seth Smith. Easy play for Dice. And Gerard makes the catch. That will end the inning. Very good job by Aaron Crow. Salvador Perez will lead things off when we come back. Brought to you by Farmland. Introducing Boulevard Brats. Here's to the home team. Here at the K, the home team is tied with Oakland at 3. Time to get yourself a brat. Boulevard Brat.
I'll take 2.
And check out the action on the field as Perez will lead it off, followed by David Lowe and then Miguel Tejada.
Okay, Ryan Cook, he's allowed 5 runs in his last 9 games, so he's going to miss out over the middle somewhere. Sit on his fastball, adjust to the slider.
Crisp will take care of Perez, 1 out. And fans, you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic at Rally House. Vote at Rally House stores and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning player. David Lowe had a couple of hits yesterday, but looking for his first this afternoon. He is 0 for 3 with a strikeout, ground out, and fly out, but all of those were against Jared Parker. Cook was Arizona's 27th round out of USC a few years back, and then acquired with Parker in that Trevor Cahill deal we were talking about. Represented his team in the All-Star game last year, and the A's did not have a great first half. You might remember they were 13 games back. 13 games back on June 30th, and they caught and passed the Texas Rangers on the last day of the year.
What a mad scramble. But anything's possible if you get consistency in those 3 areas you need them in: pitching, defense, and timely hits. Speaking of timely hits, Holland, he's gearing up. Hit him 1, that's all he'll need. 3-1 count's got to be yours.
Hits it right to the shortstop, and Rosales will throw out David Lowe. Now Miguel Tejada. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see him get back against his old team? I mean, he played so many years with the Athletics. We told you signed in '93, finally made it to the big leagues in Oakland in 1998, and they immediately put him in the lineup, and he played like 28 straight games to end that year. Started 159 games the next season.
Gabe Miggy doesn't want it there. That's on the outer half. He's looking for a mistake in. Might be some teams out there thinking that he can't get around at 39 years old on a fastball, but you know, we'll see. A little bit late on that 96. You see Miggy in that Oakland uniform.
What a fantastic player. Tied an Oakland record with 3 home runs on June 11th, '99.
Look at that energy. Passion.
Had a sensational year when he left the A's and went to Baltimore and drove in 150 runs. And that is grounded to Rosales. He drops the baseball. Tejada hustling all the way, and he will make it successfully. So it'll be an error, the 3rd on the Oakland Athletics today. Now, can Mike Moustakas make him pay?
No, you know, that right there, you know, that's a ball that's hit, but he puts his head down and runs right out of the box. Rosales, he knew he was going to hustle. He's going to play hard. And that's all Miguel Cabrera can do. He's a leader. And by going 90 feet hard, I mean, Miguel Tejada, by going that hard down the line, that's got to be encouraging to his teammates.
Moose tied the game back in the 4th with a long home run to right. they think Tejada might be going.
And that's good. Maybe that'll buy Moose a good pitch to hit.
Even in his great days, Tejada didn't run that often. Most stolen bases he ever had in a season were 11, and that's in 2001 at the age of 27. Kansas City has been aggressive in this game. They've stolen 3 bases, 2 by Dyson, 1 by Gordon. Now they run Escobar, and he will steal second base. So Alcides Escobar, pinch running for Miguel Tejada, rips off second base. Now a Moose single could give Kansas City a 4-3 lead.
Yeah, that's an excellent break. 12th stolen base this year for Escobar. And now Moose can do his job. 2-0 count.
Three balls and no strikes.
And you know, he sees Elliott Johnson on deck, and maybe they don't want to give Moose anything good to hit here. So well, maybe we'll take our chances with Elliott.
It is ball 4.
Yeah, they're not going to let Moose beat him.
Elliott Johnson did single to right field his last time up, and that ended a 0 for 21 slide he'd been in. Then he came around to score the tying run on the sacrifice fly by Eric Hosmer.
And he had been 0 for 29 here at the K until that last hit. So he could really pump himself up in the fans here if he could just find a hole somewhere.
Last hit was May 26th at the K. And that pitch rides high and outside.
He's due for a clutch hit.
Royals do have Kataris, Kane, Giavotella on the bench. Kurt Young wants to come out for a visit. Will you see this often, Rex, where a guy is working around a hitter? He wasn't intentionally walking Mike Moustakas, but he was throwing pitches wide of the zone. Then all of a sudden may have a difficult time getting back at that release point to find the strike zone.
Yeah, you know, he obviously didn't want to leave anything out over the plate for Moose, so he carefully pitched around him. Now Kurt Young is coming out and saying, hey, look, you know, let's not put anybody else on here. Let's go after these guys. Keep the ball down and trust your defense here. Don't get into a pattern. Let's not give it to him.
Cook came on with runners on first and second. Royals immediately had a double steal, and then he got Billy Butler to fly out to right. Since that time, he got Perez in a fly to center. Lowe grounded out to short. Should have had the final out on a ground ball to the shortstop Rosales, but he booted it. Escobar came on to pinch run for Tejada, stole second base, and Moustakas was then walked. Johnson takes it low and in. It's a 3-0 count. Three and one.
Okay, Elliott could take even another pitch. Same situation, he's got to come to him. Or he might get one he likes here and try to guide it up the middle.
That is the 6th walk the Royals have enjoyed in this game. They're looking to score a run because of the walks.
Yeah, hey, look, free passes, when they happen to you, you'll take them. Anything you can do. Sean Doolittle out there in the pen. He's the lefty.
Well, the Royals have the very patient George Koutaris available to pinch hit, but they want to stay with Dyson here against a guy who has had trouble finding the strike zone last 2 batters. Dyson shows bunt, takes strike 1.
Maybe he just wanted to pull the infielders in, but this is not the time to square around a bunt here.
Yeah, Rex, I always think that if you're squaring around a bunt and you take it, now all of a sudden you're in the hole 0-1.
Well, that's what he decided to try to do there, but I can see him try to just put the bat on the ball, just meet it. Holland's already loosened up, ready to come in to close it down. But they're missing one thing, a big run or more.
Up the middle. Everybody's safe, and Kansas City takes a 4-3 lead. Like you said, Hud, just make contact.
That's right, stay on top of the ball. There was no chance for a force at second base. Elliott Johnson's too quick, and the ball wasn't hit hard. So, perfect scenario there for Dyson. Take the infield and hit all day. See if they can get some more here. There was no outs anywhere to get. Melvin's going to bring the lefty in. Cook is a little upset, but couldn't find the plate. Oakland A's fan, they're not happy either. Hang with them. We're at the K here, and hopefully these guys can get back into this series here. Give them a chance to win another series tomorrow. But it's not over. Melvin's going to bring in Doolittle.
Sean Doolittle is coming in to face Alex Gordon. KC has taken the lead in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Walks on this game, and we talk about the importance of walks. The Royals, this will be the 5th game this season where they have had drawn 6 or more walks. They're 4-0 in those games so far. And on the other side, the A's, we know about the fundamentals. Only the 5th time this year that they have walked 6 or more, only the 2nd time that they have committed 3 or more errors.
25 walks by the team on this homestand. That is indeed a good sign.
Sure is. Get out there and do what you can do.
Dyson now 6 for 11 with runners in scoring position, 2 out, and he breaks the 3-3 tie. And now the man Alex Gordon, who started this homestand with a grand slam off Corey Kluber in the 5th inning. That was game 1 of this homestand against Cleveland. The Indians would win that game, but the Royals would win the next 2. And he has the bases loaded. Lefty versus lefty.
Doolittle, mid-90s fastball slider.
Ball 2.
Billy's 0 for 2 in his career against Doolittle. Alex is.
And Sean has usually been great against first batters. They are only 6 for 37 against him this year, a 162 average. Ball 3.
Jeez, why not make it 4 walks in a row for Alex?
Well, he hit the grand slam on a 3-0 count. They gave him the green light. With, man, a walk. This is one of those little league calls. A walk is as good as a hit. And he throws it right down the middle, and Gordon takes.
Ooh, that's a lot of pitches in one game.
3-2. He has come after him with back-to-back fastballs at 95.
And after that swing and miss there, he's going to say, look, I can do it again. So he's look for that fastball and adjust to anything else. He's got a chance with a well-placed ball, Alex Gordon, to score Dyson, because they're all running 3-2, 2 outs. Dyson's at first base, Elliott Johnson's at second, and Moose is at third. Chance for more insurance for Holland.
That was much like the Salvador Perez hit against Cleveland that won the game 10-7 with Dyson, the trailing runner at first base. Moustakas, Johnson, Dyson aboard. Called strike 3. Gordon thought it was ball 4 and talked with home plate umpire Chad Fairchild, but he is out. The Royals do get the lead 4-3 on the infield hit by Dyson. Here's a look again.
Oh, looked like it was up out of the zone.
Wow.
How do I get to Greg Holland? It was like that with Sawyer when he was here, because you just know that once you get in that 9th inning, if you can get a 1-run lead, you're going to sit back and feel pretty comfortable. He's been dynamite.
Maybe probably.
And he has converted 12 straight save chances since May 30th and is tied for second in the major leagues over that span. Baltimore's Jim Johnson is first with 13. Holland here in inning number 9 will face the bottom of the order and the most dangerous hitter to start things, Josh Reddick. Jed Lowry has moved to the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Adam Rosales.
Okay, Holland, he knows and he'll tell you strike one and strike two are his best pitches, even though he's got 3 nice ones. You want to get ahead and then finish guys off with his slider and split finger. Reddick is 1 for 2 in his career with a strikeout against Holland.
And Greg is indeed a strikeout pitcher. 53 in 32 innings this year. Fouled back.
Okay, that was a pitch that Reddick wants back. That was a little slider that was hittable, and he just missed it. Okay, watch the location of this one. Oof. Don't want to miss there.
A little bit low. The count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reddick singled his first time up. That scored the first run. Josh Donaldson. He was struck out looking and grounded out against Santana.
Okay, that's the slider. That's the location he wants with that one. Because if he does square it, it's going to be on the ground somewhere. But that one he missed earlier, that he didn't want to throw that again. Pitch was exactly. Telling him. Bad spot. But now he's got to challenge him here.
He swings and misses on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and Holland did go right after him.
You have to. Holland's best pitch is that blazing fastball mid to upper 90s, and there it was. And I like to say that ball rose about an inch. It's a 4-seamer, and when he lets that ball go, lots of times it appears to have a little bit of a lift to it. So there's the 4-seamer as he pulls it out of his glove. And then when he falls off hard to the left like that towards the first base line, lets that 4-seamer go, it catches some wind. Sometimes it appears to rise.
Here is the pinch hitter, Jed Lowry, hitting for Adam Rosales. Sogard is in the on-deck circle right now for Oakland.
Lowry's 0 for 1 this year as a pinch hitter.
They have Freeman available, Young and Norris. Now that'll play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jed Lowry has faced Holland 1 time. He's made it out. Nice catch by the fan again.
Lowry fouls it off. Again, Holland had a 4th of July he will long remember, because he saved both games in a little over 15 hours on Thursday afternoon versus Cleveland, working around a 1-out single to finish a 10-7 win, and that was after he saved a game at 1 o'clock in the morning. Pulled foul, and we are hoping that on the 6th of July, Greg Holland will find out that he is an American League All-Star, because he has been very deserving. $19 saves this year.
See, when he gets ahead like this, he's got options. Hitter's a little bit more defensive here. However, you have to look for his fastball and adjust anything else.
Ooh. In there, strike 3 called. What a pitch.
Let's see. That locked him up. Jed Lowry's walking back, saying, wow, look at that pitch. It started up around the letters, and then it dropped right over the middle of the plate. Pinch hitting's one of the toughest jobs in baseball. And when you got to do it against a closer that's got that kind of stuff, it makes it really tough for your 1 at bat of the day.
55 strikeouts and not even 33 innings. And here's Sogard. Ball one. Sogard has grounded out, popped up, and doubled. How about Greg Holland? 5 feet 10 inches, about 205 pounds. Power arm. A little bit low to Sogard. We had a chance to visit with his dad, Scott, during that father's trip to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. And Scott Holland said that Greg always wanted to be the best, was one of the most competitive kids in their area. And he proved it. And he gets a foul ball struck by Sogard. It's a 2-1 count.
Okay, Sogard's never faced Holland before, and he knew that 2-0 he was coming with the red. The red is dead red, heater. That's what hitters call that.
Strike two. Now the crowd of 16,106 on their feet, hoping for one more strike and to give Kansas City their 41st win of the year. Checked his swing. He went. Game over. Save number 20 for Greg Holland, and he again strikes out the side.
Woo-wee, nice work. And Jarrod Dyson ends up picking up the game-winning hit with that nice little two-hopper over the middle.
Well, Ned Yost said, what I think about every day is how do I get the lead to Greg Holland, because he is slamming the door shut on just about every opponent he has faced this year. And he is our Ford player of the game.
And that's why you have closers in the game now. They're so dominant as they can come out and just blow that fastball right by hitters. Holland, we've seen him hit 100 this year, but that 97 is plenty to get hitters out, especially with the nice split finger changeup combination. Split finger slider, he's good.
And the Royals even this series at 1 win each. Oakland won last night 6-3. The Royals win this afternoon 4-3. And our good Joe Goldberg is with Jarrod Dyson right now.
All right, thank you very much, Fizz, Jarrod Dyson, and we've got Greg Holland here who had the big save too. Dice on base 4 times today, and chance to really get things going. Just tell me about being a spark plug down there at the bottom of the lineup today.
I mean, my job is every day I'm in the lineup is to get on base and make things happen.
Keep going.
No, I was just going to say, fortunately, I was able to do that today.
Yeah, and you were able to do that. And the team in general was able to draw a lot of walks, and I know that's something that you guys have really wanted to improve on. Tell me about that, because it looked like it was a lot of guys able to contribute.
You know, George and Pedro preach every day. Just go up to the plate and try not to get your bat away.
All right, we saw you out there. We saw you with a couple of stolen bases. You had the double at that one point. Was there a thought at some point, man, I should have had 3, I should have had that triple?
Yeah, I thought about it, but it was no outs. We had Alex Gordon behind me, so I know he can do big things with the bat in his hand.
All right, nice job. We'll let you get in there, and we'll visit with the closer draw. Thanks.
Hey, thank you guys for coming out supporting us.
Greg Holland. 1, 2, 3, making it look easy. I know it's not as easy as it looks, but first off, how much fun are you having out there? Because I know that you're comfortable in this closer's role.
It's a lot of fun because we're competing every day and we're playing close games and we're staying confident. And I think as the summer progresses, we're going to just continue to get better, and that's the exciting part.
We were talking, our guys up in the booth, about the most important pitch for you being strike 1. You're facing a team that really knows how to draw walks. What's your mindset at that point, knowing that they're not going to chase too much?
Throw strike 1. Like you said, it's all predicated on getting ahead, because when you get behind these good hitters and good lineups, they can make you pay. So if you can get ahead, you got a fighting chance.
Final thing, in just a little while, Major League Baseball announced the All-Stars, and we don't know what that's going to be. You don't know. And I know that you have a lot of teammates that you'd like to see go, but if you were selected, what would that mean to you?
It'd mean a lot. You know, I want to go play for a World Series tops, but an all-star team would be awesome. But right now we're just concerned with winning tomorrow and winning this series.
Great job today again. Thanks, Greg.
All right, thanks a lot.
Greg Holland with the save, and who knows, we may be talking about all-star Greg Holland tomorrow. Guys?
Joel, he has shown his worth, and he has proved that he's an all-star. 56 strikeouts in 33 innings. And how about Dyson? As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, on base 4 times. With the last time up, game-winning hit. Frowns for the A's, cheers for the Royals.
They find a way. Better late than never. They win again.
28th comeback.